I often mention that lesbians and the LGBTQ plus community in general need to maintain their individuality as well as their creativity in their partnerships, their same-sex attracted relationships, because we live in a heteronormative society which tries to convince you that being heterosexual is the only way, or that you should only be with the opposite sex in a romantic and or sexual relationship or marriage. And we all have been affected by this patriarchal as well as heteronormative society that we live in. However, when you identify as a lesbian, gay, bisexual, or LGBTQIA plus person, you have to make extra effort to put yourself first, not in a selfish sense, but in the sense of self-care and contemplation for your life, because you can get caught up in thinking that either being a same-sex attracted person means that you have to prioritize or put on a pedestal heterosexual norms or heterosexual relationship models. Now, if you admire, for example, your parents who are in a heterosexual marriage, that's fine. As long as you respect the love relationship, that's fine. But don't ever think that you have to conform to being someone who has to deny who you are as a same-sex attracted person in order to fit in a heteronormative standard. And that could mean you either will deny who you are as a same-sex attracted person and be in a heterosexual relationship, or you will find yourself not being yourself in a relationship with someone who is a same-sex attracted person because you have insecurities about being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or same-sex attracted. And you may think that you have to have a relationship that fits the heterosexual standard of a relationship, or you may look down on same-sex attracted relationships because you have been brainwashed to believe that being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or LGBTQIA plus is wrong, or it's not natural. And I wanted to say that to you because this also affects how you view your sexuality. And it also can negatively impact the progression of your sexual relationships. And that's why I want to address the topic of sexuality, specifically lesbian sexuality. And I've titled my video today, Lesbians, Don't Ever Deny Your Sexual Desires. I am Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. I provide my lesbian perspective here on my YouTube channel. And if that interests you, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Lesbians, don't ever deny your sexual desires. women have been taught when they were in their mother's womb that women are to be chaste, they're supposed to remain virgins, and if they ever decide to have sex, she can only do it with one person, and that one person must be a man, and he must be your husband. Anything outside of that heteronormative construct is considered a downgrade. It is considered a perversion, and you are pretty much outcasted because you are not conforming to a patriarchal heteronormative standard. Women have been taught that they need a man. They've been brainwashed to believe that a woman cannot take care of herself on her own, and she cannot really have a fulfilling, happy life without being with a man. Now, even though she is trained to be with a man, she specifically taught that she only needs to be with one man. She cannot be promiscuous. And depending on who the man is, he can determine what he views as being promiscuous for a woman. For example, a man may view a woman as being promiscuous if she even has been with one man sexually and she's not married to that man. Because they view any woman who is not married to a man and she's having sexual relations, they can view her as being promiscuous. Some view a woman as being promiscuous if she has a child out of wedlock and she's not with the child's father. For whatever reason, they don't even care what her story or her situation is. They've already judged her and she's viewed as being promiscuous. Some men view a woman as being promiscuous if she's been with 3 or more men sexually. So these men, they have their own view of what makes a woman promiscuous. And this has impacted women to where some women have sexual hangups, sexual blockages. They are sexually frustrated. Some of them are not uninhibited with their sexuality. Now, uninhibited does not mean promiscuous. Uninhibited simply means that you are not restricted regarding your sexual views, your sexual values, your sexual interests, and your sexual identity, or even your sexual relations, because you are free within yourself. You have a mind of your own. You make your own decisions. You have your own morals and values, boundaries, and you do not allow people from the outside to dictate who you are and how you live your life. And that's very important as a lesbian identified woman, because you already know how people are judging women, and especially men, because men can be very harsh and judgmental about women and their sexuality. And men take offense to how many people a woman has slept with. And it's really ridiculous, because these women that you're judging, you're not entitled to any of these women anyway. And who's to say that that woman wants you anyway? Especially when it comes to lesbians, because lesbians aren't thinking about being with a man anyway. So for a man to sit up and judge a lesbian is redundant. And it's ridiculous. But lesbians are judged by men and women, from everybody, because everybody wants to have their say so about how a lesbian should be with a man. And they want to make a woman feel like she cannot be fulfilled being only with a woman, that something is missing in her life. And that missing piece is a man. So lesbians get all of this. Like, in a sense, they almost get it worse than heterosexual women or even bisexual women, because heterosexual women and bisexual women, they can date and marry men and have a fulfilling life with the man. But lesbians are not designed to be with men. So that's why a lot of times lesbians feel the brunt of all of this judgment and ridicule and this pressure to be someone who she's not. So I think it's imperative for me to address all lesbians, regardless of your relationship status. If you are single, if you are dating, or if you are married to a woman, this message is for you. I want you to stay in tune with your sexuality. Don't try to ignore your sexual desires, your sexual attractions, your sexual interests, and do not try to escape the truth about who you are, because people are constantly trying to change you. And I know from personal experience, since I was a little girl, my family tried to deter me from being a lesbian. But I already knew who I was. It was just a matter of time for me to just get enough space or get away from this restricted environment, because I knew that I am going to live my life freely and pleasing for myself, because I did not want to live my life pleasing other people who 99.9% of the time are not happy with their own lives. And you may miss that. You're so busy trying to please all these other people, trying to make them happy, and you will never make these people happy. You know why? Because that's not your job. That's not your purpose. And these people are not happy with their own lives. And in most cases, they sense and detect that you already know who you are, but they're trying to hold you back, or they just want you to be as miserable as they are, because the old saying is very true: misery loves company. So when you realize this, the earlier you realize this, the better, because you're going to be more focused on living in your truth. And I always knew that I'm going to be with a woman. And so I looked forward to it. And that kept me going. And as I matured, not just emotionally and mentally, but also spiritually, I learned more about how God views me. And God loves me for who I am. He created me. And that's powerful. And he made me to be attracted to women. He made me to love women. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with loving someone, finding beauty in a person. And I absolutely do with women. So, lesbians, don't ever deny your sexual desires. They want to make you think that you finding women physically and sexually attractive is a perversion. They want you to think that you have been hurt and that you really are in dire need of meeting the right man who will get your mind off of females. You see, they think that you're not really a lesbian. You just need the strength of a man in your life. So they've already planned out your life for you. And it doesn't stop. Like, you think, okay, I'm at home. Once I get out of high school and go to college, everything is going to be all right. Or you may not even go to college. You may start your own business, or you may just go into the corporate workforce and just start living your life. And you're like, surely at this point, my family will understand that I am a lesbian. But they may get to that point, but they may not. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you accept yourself. Because if you do not, ladies, you will find yourself being like a lot of women who are so caught up, so blinded by the patriarchal male standard of how a woman should be. There's so many women who are not able to freely express themselves sexually because they're worried about how a man is going to judge them. So you have, for example, heterosexual women who are caught up in marriages with men who they do not desire sexually. Yes, they are heterosexual. Yes, they are romantically and sexually attracted to men, but they've gone through a training all of their lives as well. And they've been trained to be with a certain type of guy. The type of guy that impresses their family, impresses their church community, impresses the business world. So it's all about appearances. And so she ends up marrying this guy who she doesn't even want to kiss, let alone lay down with. And so she finds herself cheating on her husband with a man that she really is into. So that is a form of being sexually restricted, sexually controlled by a male-dominated society. And women will get fed up. And instead of getting in a situation where you have to get fed up, just be yourself and go for what you really know is best for you. And so I say that to all the lesbians. You know that you are attracted to women. You know that women excite you. You know that you love women in multifaceted ways. Sure, you love her personality. You love the way she thinks. You love how ambitious she is. But you also are attracted to the female shape. You are attracted to a woman's body. You are sexually aroused by women. And people have taught you that that's wrong. And maybe it's caused you to be ashamed of your female same-sex attractions. Or maybe you hide them. Maybe you've been on the down low. Maybe you are in the closet. Maybe you know that you're a lesbian, but you haven't acted on your attractions. You're still technically a virgin. But you know that it's driving you crazy, that you have to deny yourself. And ladies, that's not healthy. And it's not fair to you that you're living like this because of the surroundings that you're in. Your circumstance that you're in prohibits you from being a lesbian. I've been there. I understand. And that's why it's so important for you to always stay in tune with yourself. I started my own online school, and it's called, quote, Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy, end quote. And I started my online school because I wanted to be able to educate, teach, and inspire, as well as coach lesbians about our lives without the interruption of the outside world, who steadily tries to deter us from being our authentic selves as lesbians. And I encourage you to become a student, become a learner at Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy. The link is below this video in the description box, as well as on my homepage. The link is there as well. And it is paid online learning, because just like when you go to college or university, you have to pay for classes because it is an investment. You should invest in yourself because it will improve your overall mental health as well as your spiritual health and your relationships with women, your relationship with yourself, and your relationship with the Most High God. Because I have a motto where I say, I teach same-gender loving people how to bridge the gap between their sexual identity and their spiritual identity, end quote. Ladies, your sexuality is infused with your spirituality because God made you a lesbian. So the next time you see a beautiful young woman and you are thinking, I think I like her more than a friend, that's a good thing. Embrace yourself. Embrace whatever relationship status you're in. If you're single, if you're dating, if you're married, enjoy your season. Learn as much as you can about yourself. If you have to literally take some time to yourself to get away from all of the noise in society, wherever you see yourself going. Some people enjoy going, walking, jogging, going fishing, swimming, dancing. Whatever it is that allows you to wind down and escape and get some time to yourself, take time to do something that reminds you that you are a lesbian, that allows you to embrace lesbianism, and think about just being a lesbian and how blessed you are to be a lesbian, because you are rare and you are very unique You are valued. And you need self-appreciation. And if you have a woman in your life, take some time to appreciate your woman, love on your woman, and do what's best for your relationship. Don't do what everybody else is telling you to do, because they don't want to see you happy in love with a woman. So make every effort to build up your relationships, because lesbian love is so beautiful. Lesbian love needs to be celebrated. Lesbian love needs to be seen. And lesbian sexuality needs to be a priority. Your sexuality is who you are, ladies. It is what motivates you in life. It's the reason why you live your life. If you are not able to be yourself as a lesbian, you will find yourself being frustrated, angry, irritable. You will not feel elevated in life. You will feel very restricted. You will feel very withdrawn. You will feel as if you don't have anything to look forward to. And that's why it's so important for you to love on yourself and love on the woman in your life. Women are beautiful, and women need to be treated like they're beautiful. And that's why lesbians don't ever deny your sexual desires. Don't ever let someone convince you that your desire for a woman is in vain, or that it's just a phase, or that it won't last. You'll never have a successful marriage with a woman, or you'll never be able to be with a woman. And yes, a romantic, loving relationship, but also a sexually fulfilling relationship. You can have it all, ladies. Thank you for listening. I hope this message resonates with you. Don't forget to register at Giselle Wallace Lesbian Academy. The link is here on my YouTube channel. Subscribe as well to my YouTube channel for more content. And have a rainbow day.